Your Durham questions and concerns are about to get a reply on Durham Answers, a question and answer video series from the City of Durham.
What is the City of Durham doing about homelessness?
Hi, I'm Anis Vance, Assistant Director with the Durham Community Safety Department. One of the most common questions we hear is pretty simple. What is the City of Durham doing about homelessness? To answer that, I want to begin by telling you about a test run we did this winter to show how we can tackle homelessness by working together and breaking down barriers. In January, 2 winter storms hit Durham, and community safety expanded emergency shelter operations alongside a wide network of partners. Afterwards, 10 families were in hotel rooms with no place to go. Now, we had been working for the past 7 months on a new approach, and here was our first chance to put it in action. The whole plan is built around this one big vision, that when someone experiences homelessness, we're able to house them in 30 days. From where we are today, where someone can be unsheltered for years or stuck in a shelter for over a year, this is an ambitious vision. So we asked ourselves, can we move 10 families with 14 children into housing in less than 1 month?
What is a housing sprint?
Our team ran what we call a housing sprint. That's just a focused effort over about a month where we try to move as many people as possible from homelessness into housing. We set a goal of helping these 10 families, but we did it a little differently than usual. Instead of just referring people to services and hoping something opens up, we came prepared.
What made this approach different?
We showed up with real options already lined up. That included money to help with things like deposits and rent, housing units that were actually available, and case managers ready to stick with families after they moved in. Then we worked directly with people one-on-one, helping with applications, dealing with paperwork, solving problems as they came up, even driving folks to see apartments and meet landlords. And in 1 month, here's what happened. We helped 15 families move into housing, and 3 more families moved into safe shelter while they waited for housing. So we actually went beyond our original goal. And more importantly, people got housed.
Why does homelessness still take so long to solve?
Right now in Durham, there are more than 200 people waiting for shelter as single adults. There are about 50 families who are waiting for family shelter. Around 400 households are waiting for housing help, including about 100 families. And there are even more people who haven't been fully assessed yet. People are having to wait months or even years before getting stable housing. And during that time, things get harder. Health, safety, work, family stability, all of it. So the problem isn't just homelessness, it's that the system wasn't built to respond fast enough or with enough housing options. Without this kind of coordinated housing-focused approach, the system tends to stay slower. It's more fragmented, and people often end up waiting far longer than they should for something as basic as stable housing. That's why Durham is changing how we do this work.
How is Durham changing its approach?
Over the past year, we worked with more than 400 community members and many partner organizations to build a new plan to prevent and reduce homelessness. And the core idea is pretty straightforward. If you want to reduce homelessness, the fastest way is to help people get into housing quickly and with fewer barriers in the way. So instead of a system that mostly reacts after the fact, we're building one that's more proactive and coordinated. That means we don't just wait for shelter space to open up. We don't just respond after encampments become a crisis. We start earlier. We try to identify people sooner and connect them to housing faster. We line up resources ahead of time. And we coordinate across agencies so people aren't getting stuck in different parts of the system.
What happens when outreach workers meet someone living outside?
Today, when we approach an encampment, we have street outreach workers who are entirely focused on housing, but the only thing they have to offer is a wait list. It's an impossible situation. They're there to support neighbors, but have no real housing or shelter options. We spent time asking over 100 people experiencing homelessness what they wanted, and they named housing and case management support. Two things that we don't currently have enough of, and two things that our strategic framework focuses on getting. Under the framework, when street outreach works with an encampment, we will have real resources to offer, real financial assistance, real long-term case management, and critically, real units. Instead of working with people for years while they live outside, we have a goal of helping people into shelter or housing within 30 days. That's a huge transformation. And it can only happen with the resources outlined in the strategic framework. Our goal, everyone's goal, is to see people housed as quickly as possible.
How will this program be funded?
The city and county are already putting real resources behind the strategic framework. That includes millions of dollars in housing assistance, funding for case managers, support to help people avoid shelter when possible, enhanced outreach to property managers and landlords, and new short-term housing units. All of that is meant to remove the barriers that keep people stuck. This isn't just theory. Other cities have already seen results when they focus intensely on housing people quickly. And we're also starting to see those results here. That housing sprint in February showed us something important. When we line up the right resources, work together, and move quickly, people can get housed. Now, we're building on that experience. We're going to scale this approach across Durham. That means identifying needs earlier, preparing housing options ahead of time, and working across departments and partners in a more coordinated way. Our goal is to reduce unsheltered homelessness by about 30% in the first year, and then keep going from there.
How can the community help?
We also know this can't be done by the city alone. It takes housing providers, nonprofit partners, landlords, business, philanthropy, and the broader community working together and contributing their time, their energy, and their resources to this shared endeavor. At the end of the day, this is about people. It's about making sure everyone in Durham has a real shot at a safe, stable place to live. We know the current system isn't enough, but we also know something important: what works. And now we're building on that to make sure that when people need support, they receive that support quickly and with care. Please share this video and raise awareness about our plans with anyone and everyone.
How will the housing fund help people?
This summer, we'll be launching a public-private flexible housing assistance fund that will give everyone a place to contribute to support this framework. Our goal is to raise an additional $5 million in year one. And while that might sound like a lot, that's less than maintaining the status quo. When we look across systems, it costs between $30,000 and $50,000 a year for somebody to experience homelessness. For that amount of money, we could pay for their entire rent and case management support. Importantly, the dollars contributed to that fund will go directly to supporting neighbors by assisting with housing application fees, move-in costs, rent, and other barriers to stable housing.
What can I do to support this effort?
If you feel inspired or energized by this, we ask that you champion this work. Tell your employers about it, your neighbors, your faith community, your family, your friends. help other people believe that this is possible. You'll have the opportunity to contribute in any number of ways to our collective goal of helping people experiencing homelessness move into housing. Click the link at the end of this video to pledge your support and get critical updates, including when the fund goes live this summer and how to contribute. Thanks for your time.